I lost $20,000 trying to build an online course business. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why the business failed and the mistakes I made along the way, so hopefully you can avoid them. This isn't throwing shade at the industry. There's some fantastic online courses out there. Obviously, there's a load of people that make a load of money from online courses. This is just to show you exactly where I went wrong. So the course was how to become a successful freelancer. And the reason why I started this course was because I had a podcast called the 100K Freelancer Club that was starting to pick up traction. This podcast is where I'd speak to successful freelancers from all over the world to talk about their success stories and how they did it. I've also worked as a freelancer and been self-employed my entire adult life. I've managed millions and millions of dollars of advertisement budgets, had some incredibly successful marketing campaigns with companies, traveled the world and back. I've moved to a different country and live here in Spain. And I thought, you know what? If I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's when I decided to start the online course. So where did I go wrong? Well, it was a mixture of three main things. Firstly, I didn't stick to lean methodology. I jumped right in and built a course straight off the bat before knowing if anybody even wanted this kind of course. Spent $2,400 on an annual subscription to Kajabi, which is an online course platform where you can build a website and host a course. And this was before I even had somebody say, hey, yeah, I'd buy that. I then spent hundreds of hours researching, making the course, scripting the videos, recording and uploading it to Kajabi. I then spent even more money hiring freelancers to make me landing pages, logos, email sequences, marketing campaigns. So by the time all this was done, I spent hundreds of my own hours, thousands upon thousands of dollars on help from other people. And this was before I even had a single customer or a single sign up to basically validate this course. So at this point, I basically dug myself a hole, and mentally I was committed to make this work no matter what, which was a terrible position to be in. This made me double down even though I really shouldn't have. I spent more time creating more courses and I spent even more money. Over the 3 years, I spent 8.5K on Kajabi, I spent 4K on other software and tools, spent about 5K on advertisement budget, and I spent about 7K on freelancers and a couple of other things as well. So the total spend came to $24,600. But this wasn't the only problem, and it wouldn't have even been a problem if it wasn't for the next two things. So the first thing and second thing overall is I was targeting too wide of a target audience to sell the course to. Basically, I was aiming the course at anybody who wanted to be a freelancer. So that's essentially anyone who wants to make money online, any age, any demographic, any place. And this is a terrible marketing practice unless you have a marketing budget the size of the ones that they have at Coca-Cola and Apple. When you have limited capital and reach, you need to start out targeting the absolute hottest audience in the most niche market possible. So for example, I've drawn a diagram here, which I was targeting down here, right? Which is anybody who wants to make money online. So literally anybody. A step up from that would be a graduate with a digital skill who's ready to become a freelancer. One more than that would be somebody who's decided that they want to become a freelancer and they've got one client, they're not really making any money, but they know it's something that they want to do. Another step up from that, for example, would be an employed person with a side gig who knows that they want to become a freelancer. And the ultimate target audience of which I should have been targeting would have been somebody like a high paid developer in London that was working for somebody like Microsoft. They have 250K a year, but they're going into the office 6 days a week, 60 hours a week. They do not want to do that anymore. They know they want to work freelance. So they're time poor, but cash rich. And they're the perfect target audience for a freelancing course, right? Because they can use that skill. Development is one of the top freelancing skills in the world. And they've got the money to pay that, but they don't have the time to learn it themselves. So that is a perfect target audience for this online course. And the fact I wasn't targeting these guys and I was targeting these guys meant that advertisement, the cost of advertisement was flying up, the cost per acquisition. And the amount that these people could afford, or the amount their target audience could afford, was super low. So it was a really high cost per acquisition for a really low priced course. Which brings me on to the next point. My pricing was completely off. The most expensive course I ever sold was $150, but most courses were between $9 and $39. This is a stupidly low cost for an online course for two reasons. First, people don't value low cost courses. Number two, it's super hard to cover your costs with such a low cost course. Here's a crazy stat for you. 80% of people that bought a course for $9, so they paid $9 for one of my courses, 80% of them didn't even do the first lesson. Okay, now let's look at this. Imagine you sell a course for $3,000, right? And it cost you $2,000 in advertisement costs. So $2,000 on Facebook ads or Google ads, YouTube ads, wherever you advertise. Your profit after the ad spend is $1,000. Now, if you look at what I was doing, price $9 for the course. Imagine you get an ad cost per sale of $8. Your profit after the ad spend is $1. Now, to make the same amount of profit as this course here versus this course here, I'd have to sell 1,000 courses just to make that same amount. Now, this is where the problem really came in, because you can sell and achieve a $9 course at $8, $7, $6 in certain areas at certain times of years with certain offers. The problem is when you want to scale this to thousands of sales, which is what you need to do to make any money, this becomes a real problem and the ad cost starts to fly. So then you start to become in $10 a sale, even $20 a sale, $30 a sale, and you're starting to get really hammered, and that's when you start to lose money on the sale. And that is why the course ultimately failed. So if you take anything away from this video, remember, you need to target as niche as possible. Don't overinvest at the start. Test and investigate. Are people willing to buy your course? Run a test, create a landing page, send out an email, ask people, would you buy this course? Are you interested in this? If you get a good response, if people say, yes, I want it, if they do a pre-order, then go ahead and build it. Finally, remember to price high. It's so much easier to sell a course for $1,000 than to sell loads of courses at $30 or $9 or $10 or any of those low price point ranges. And if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, then please comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear as well in the comments if you've tried an online course before, if you've had successes or failures. I want to hear about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.